If you fly a DJI Neo 2 and you have not updated your firmware yet, stop scrolling, because DJI just quietly unlocked a set of flight modes that completely change what this little drone can do, and I mean completely. We're talking automated cinematic shots that used to require a much more expensive drone and a lot more skill. I've spent the last few days testing every single one of these on 3 different Neo 2 units, 2 RC2 remotes, and both Android and the desktop updater, so I know exactly where people are going to get stuck, because I got stuck too. Stick with me until the end, because the very last update method I'm going to show you is the one that actually fixed a stubborn RC2 still needs upgrading error that the app refused to resolve on its own. If you skip that part, you might be stuck on old firmware without even knowing it. Let's get into it. What's actually new? Let's start with the drone side firmware, version 0100.700. On paper, this looks like a routine maintenance update, but functionally, it's the update that unlocks the new automated flight modes on the Neo 2 hardware itself, meaning the physical buttons on the drone, the ones with that orange indicator line, now cycle through an expanded list of shot types that didn't exist before this update. That's a meaningful shift, because up until now, a lot of the Smart Shot style modes were something you triggered from the app. Now, DJI's pushed some of that control directly onto the drone, which is great news if you're the kind of flyer who likes to launch, tap a button, and go, without pulling your phone out every time. On the app side, this is where I want to be precise, because it's easy to overstate this. This specific firmware release officially adds exactly 2 new creative modes, Highlight Slow-Mo and Helix Close-Up. Helix Close-Up is a single combined shot, not 2 separate modes. The drone spirals around your subject while simultaneously drawing in closer, all in one automated pass. Highlight Slow-Mo gives your highlight reel that weighted dramatic pacing that's become such a staple of short-form video. Everything else you'll see sitting in the shooting interface rocket, follow, selfie shot, dolly in, dolly out, Dronian circle are existing quick shot and intelligent modes the Neo 2 already had before this update. I want to flag that distinction clearly, because it's tempting to make a firmware update like this sound like it reinvents the whole shot library, when really, DJI has added 2 focused, well-executed new options on top of a shot library that was already impressively deep for a drone this size and price. There's also a subtlety worth calling out. The app now surfaces contextual guidance while you're shooting, things like reminders to fly in well-lit, texture-rich environments for the best subject tracking. That's not just a nice to have. If you've ever had a follow mode lose the subject over a plain lawn or a blank wall, that tip is DJI quietly telling you why that happened and how to avoid it next time. I'll flag more of these on-screen tips as we go, because they're easy to swipe past without reading, and they're genuinely useful. Now, one thing I want to be transparent about, as of filming this, I have not seen a corresponding firmware update for the RC Pro 2 remote. That doesn't necessarily mean nothing's changed for it. DJI doesn't always push every update on the same day across every accessory, but I don't want to promise you something I haven't verified myself. I'll be covering the RC Pro 2 specifically in a separate video once there's something concrete to show. So keep an eye out for that if that's your remote of choice. Why update order matters. Before you touch anything, let's talk about sequencing, because this is where most people either waste 20 minutes or, worse, end up with a drone and a remote that are running mismatched firmware and refusing to talk to each other properly. The safest order is update your DJI Fly app first, since that's your control center for everything else. Then update your drone. Then update your remote control, in this case, the RC2. If you've got multiple RC2 units, like a lot of us do because DJI bundles them with different drone purchases, you'll want to run through this same process for every single one individually. They don't share an update status with each other, even if they're identical hardware. Here's a genuinely useful tip that took me a few update cycles to learn. Sometimes a single update pass doesn't fully take. I've had situations where I ran the firmware update, it appeared to complete, and then, going back into settings, the app still flagged the same component as needing an update. If that happens to you, don't panic and don't assume you've bricked anything, just run the update again. 9 times out of 10, a second pass clears it. I'll show you exactly what that looks like on screen later in this video so you know what a stuck update actually looks like versus a normal one. One more thing worth mentioning, make sure your phone has a stable connection throughout this, whether that's staying connected to the drone via the RC2's own link or maintaining a steady Bluetooth or Wi-Fi connection depending on your setup. Interrupted downloads mid-firmware flash are one of the more common causes of update failures, and they're almost entirely avoidable just by not walking away with your phone screen locking mid-transfer. Updating the DJI Fly app. Let's start with the app itself, because everything downstream depends on this being current. If you're on Android and you don't already have the DJI Fly app installed, the fastest and safest route is to search DJI Fly Android directly and go to the official download page rather than trying to find it through a general App Store search, since availability can vary by region. I did a completely fresh install for this video so I could walk you through exactly what a first-time setup looks like, not just an update on top of an existing install. Once it's installed and open, go into your account or device settings. This is usually tucked into a menu you might not visit often, so don't feel bad if you've never noticed it before. Look for an option labeled Firmware Update. Tapping that will prompt a screen for firmware download and install. Confirm that, and the app will ask you to connect a device. You'll be given a couple of options depending on your setup, connecting via the remote control directly, or in this case, connecting via mobile phone, which is what we're demonstrating today since it's the most universal method and works whether or not your RC2 is nearby. Tap Search, give it a moment, and it should locate your Neo 2 automatically. You'll get a permission prompt, allow it. From here, the app will handle checking your current version against the latest available build. If you're up to date, it'll simply tell you that you're current, which is oddly satisfying to see after you've done all this work. If you're not, it'll queue the download, and depending on your connection speed, this can take anywhere from a couple of minutes to considerably longer. So this is a great moment to go make a coffee rather than stare at a progress bar. Updating the drone ANDRC2. While that update is downloading, let's talk about the drone and remote update process together, because in most cases the app bundles these steps in a logical sequence for you. Once the app has finished checking, it'll typically flag every connected component that needs updating, so don't be surprised if it lists both the aircraft and the RC2 remote in the same session. This is actually more convenient than doing them separately, because you're not re-establishing connections multiple times. Here's what to expect visually, because it can be a little disorienting the first time you see it. The drone or remote may reboot multiple times during the process. That's completely normal. You'll see the RC2 go through what I can only describe as a bit of an existential moment, the screen going dark, sometimes tilting to stare at the floor if it's sitting on a desk, which looks alarming but is just the device restarting its internal systems. Don't touch it, don't unplug anything, don't panic, just let it finish its cycle. Once it's done rebooting and settles back into its normal interface, flip back over to your phone and reopen the DJI Fly app if it's kicked you out. Tap Connect. At this stage, you should see confirmation that the RC2 has updated successfully, and that's genuinely a good feeling, because this is usually the step where people either see everything click into place or discover they need to run it again. If you go back into the app after this and it's still showing an update prompt for the same device, that's your cue for the second pass I mentioned earlier. Just repeat the process. It's not a sign you've done anything wrong. Once everything shows as current, this is where the fun part starts. Open up the shooting interface in the app and you'll see the full shot library sitting right there, including the two brand new additions, Highlight Slow-Mo and Helix Close-Up, sitting alongside the drone's existing lineup of Rocket, Follow, Selfie Shot, Dolly In, Dolly Out, Droney, and Circle. I'll walk you through what each of these actually does in detail in a few minutes, but for now, just take a second to appreciate that all of this is sitting on a drone this small. Updating via computer. Now, some of you prefer doing this on a computer instead of through your phone, and honestly, if you've got multiple devices to update, and like I mentioned, a lot of us end up with several RC2 units. Because DJI bundles them with different drone packages, the computer method can actually be faster for batch updates. I'll drop the link to the official desktop tool in the description below, so you're downloading it from a legitimate source rather than searching around and risking a sketchy third-party site. The process here is refreshingly simple. Plug your device in using a USB cable, and genuinely, almost any data-capable USB cable will do the job here. You don't need anything special or DJI branded. The moment you plug it in, the program should automatically detect what you've connected, whether that's the drone itself, an RC2, or another compatible controller. Once it's detected, you'll see its current firmware status displayed clearly on screen. If it's current, it'll simply say so. If it's not, you'll see a Start Upgrade button, and sometimes a Known Issues section worth glancing at before you proceed, since DJI occasionally flags specific bugs or limitations tied to a particular firmware version. I plugged in an RC2 during this recording, and the tool immediately flagged it as still needing an upgrade, even though the app had told me it was updated, which tells you these two methods aren't always perfectly in sync with each other in terms of what they detect. I clicked Start Upgrade, let it run, and this is honestly a great method if you're the type who owns multiple RC2 units and wants to knock them all out in one sitting rather than repeating the phone process over and over. Plus, Plug one in, update it, unplug, plug in the next. It's methodical, but it's fast once you get a rhythm going. New flight modes. All right, this is the section you've been waiting for. What does this full shot library actually look like in the air, including the 2 genuinely new additions this firmware brings, and how do you access all of it? There are 2 ways to trigger these, through the app's shooting interface or directly on the drone itself using the physical button with the orange indicator line, which lets you cycle through shot types without ever touching your phone. Let's go through them one by one, starting with the drone's existing shot library. Rocket sends the drone straight upward with the camera pointed down at you, creating that dramatic reveal shot you've probably seen in travel content. Follow does exactly what it sounds like, tracking a subject as they move. And this is where that earlier tip about well-lit, textured environments really matters. Try this over a plain surface, and the tracking can lose confidence. But in a detailed environment, it locks on impressively well. Selfie shot is a quick, close-range framing that's ideal for a fast individual clip without needing to compose anything manually. Highlight captures a short cinematic burst, pulling together the best moments of your flight, and Droney is the classic pull back and up reveal shot, while Circle does a clean level orbit around your subject, all 3 already familiar if you've flown a Neo 2 before, but every bit as reliable as ever. Now for the 2 genuinely new additions this firmware brings. Highlight Slow-Mo takes that same highlight reel concept and gives it a dramatic, weighted feel that's become such a staple of short-form content. And then there's Helix Close-Up, which is honestly my favorite of the 2. It spirals the drone around your subject while simultaneously drawing in closer, combining the elegance of an orbiting reveal with the intimacy of a close-up, all in one automated pass that used to require real manual piloting skill to pull off smoothly. The dolly modes are probably the most versatile additions here. Dolly in pushes the drone forward and slightly upward toward the subject, while dolly out pulls it back and down, and you can scroll through these variations using the small front and back buttons on the drone itself, which is such a small hardware detail but makes a genuinely big difference in how quickly you can switch shots mid-session without breaking your flow. Here's the part that really impressed me. You don't even need the remote control connected for a lot of this. You can trigger selfie shot, follow, and several of the other modes straight from your phone with the drone in the air, which massively lowers the barrier for anyone who wants professional-looking footage without learning manual flight first. Ars Pro 2 and N3 considerations. Quick but important note for anyone flying with the RC Pro 2 or the N3 setup, because the update conversation looks a little different for each of you. For N3 users, you genuinely won't need to change anything on the physical remote control itself, because the N3 operates through the app rather than carrying its own separate firmware in the same way the RC2 does. That said, I wouldn't rule out a future firmware update appearing, for DJI's release patterns aren't always predictable, so it's worth periodically checking rather than assuming it'll never need one. For RC Pro 2 owners, as I mentioned earlier in this video, I haven't seen a firmware update roll out for that specific remote as of filming this. I know that's not the answer some of you were hoping for, but I'd rather tell you honestly that I haven't verified it yet than guess and send you looking for an update that doesn't exist. I'm planning a dedicated video once there's something concrete to show for the RC Pro 2 specifically, so if that's your primary controller. That follow-up video is going to matter more to you than anything else in this one, so make sure you're subscribed with notifications on so you don't miss it. Known issues and troubleshooting. Let's talk about what can actually go wrong here, because I'd rather you hear it from me now than discover it mid-flight with no context. First, the stuck update scenario I mentioned earlier, where the app or desktop tool tells you a component still needs upgrading even after you've apparently completed the process. This happened to me during this very recording with the RC2. The fix again is simply running the update a second time. It's not elegant, but it's reliable. Second, watch for connection drops during the download phase specifically. If your phone screen locks, or you walk out of range of the remote signal, or your Wi-Fi connection to the drone drops for even a moment, you may need to restart that particular update from scratch. It won't damage anything, but it's an annoying time cost. So my advice is simple. Stay near your devices during the download and installation phases, keep your screen awake, and don't try to multitask across rooms while this is happening. Third, if you're updating multiple RC2 units in one sitting, keep track of which ones you've already completed. It sounds obvious, but when you own several identical-looking remotes, it's remarkably easy to lose track and either skip one or redundantly update the same one twice while thinking you're moving through the batch. I genuinely recommend labeling them or updating them in a fixed physical order, left to right, so you don't lose your place. And finally, always check the on-screen information panel that appears during setup and shooting mode. It's easy to swipe swipe past without reading, but DJI tends to bury genuinely useful, situation-specific guidance in there, the reminder about well-lit, textured environments being a perfect example. Read it once, and you'll fly smarter for every session after. Highlight slow-mo. Alright, let's get into the actual reason you clicked on this video. What's new? The headline feature is called Highlight Slow-Mo, and I'd bet this is the one most people notice within the first 5 minutes of updating. Rather than you having to manually time a slow-motion clip yourself, the drone records a burst of high frame rate footage around the action and automatically detects the key moment, a jump, a trick, a splash into water, then slows just that moment down into a clean, ready-to-share clip. There's no separate editing pass required to isolate the highlight. The drone effectively does the find the best frame and slow it down work for you in a single take. This is especially handy if you're solo, because you don't need someone else operating a second camera or editing software afterward to get a proper slow-motion hero shot. Think skateboarding tricks, a dog leaping for a ball, a bike jump, or a cliff jump into the sea. Anything with a distinct peak action moment is exactly what this mode is built for. What makes it genuinely useful isn't flashy movement patterns, it's that it removes the editing skill barrier entirely. If you're making sports clips, pet content, or action-focused travel vlogs, this gives you a polished, share-ready highlight without touching a single slider in post-production. That's a real time saver, and it's the kind of feature that quietly changes your workflow rather than just being a gimmick. Helix Close-Up. The second edition is called Helix Close-Up, and if you've used the Neo 2 for any length of time, you'll already be familiar with the original Helix shot that's spiraling pull-away that's become a bit of a signature move for these compact drones. This new version flips the starting point. Instead of beginning wide, it starts tight on your subject before spiraling outward. And you can actually choose different starting distances depending on how dramatic you want the reveal to feel. Picture this. You're filming a friend standing on a hilltop or on a beach at golden hour with a gorgeous backdrop behind them. The original Helix would already look great there, but the close-up version adds an extra layer of intimacy before it opens up into that same sweeping reveal. It feels more personal, more emotionally connected to the subject, before the landscape takes over the frame. In my testing, this is the shot that consistently got the best reaction. When I showed people the raw footage, there's something about that tight to wide journey that just reads as more polished and more intentional than a standard wide Helix. Recap. So to recap everything we've covered, the Neo 2's new firmware, version 0.1.0 700, paired with the latest DJI Fly app, officially adds 2 new creative modes, Highlight Slow-Mo and Helix Close-Up, and pairs them with the drone's already excellent existing shot library. Rocket, Follow, Selfie Shot, Highlight, Droney, Circle, Dolly In, and Dolly Out. All accessible either through the app or directly from the drone's own buttons. Update your app first, then your drone, then every RC2 you own. And don't panic if a device needs a second update pass to fully clear. If you'd rather batch update multiple devices at once, the desktop tool via USB is genuinely the more efficient route, and I've linked it below. If you fly an RC Pro 2 or an N3 setup, keep watching this channel, because I'll have dedicated follow-ups for both once there's solid, verified information to share, and given how quickly DJI's been pushing updates lately, that might be sooner than you'd expect. If this saved you the trial and error I went through figuring all of this out, do me a favor and hit subscribe, drop a like, and let me know in the comments which of these new flight modes you're most excited to try first. I read every single one, and it genuinely shapes what I test and cover next. Check out my other videos on the Mini 5 Pro and the rest of the DJI lineup while you're here. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.